You wake up at 3 a.m. The house is silent, too silent. You hear whispers crawling along the walls, shadows stretching across the ceiling. You feel something watching you, something that wants to harm you. Your heart races, your body freezes. And then you whisper just a few short surahs, the 4 Quls, and instantly the darkness flees, the whispers vanish, the air feels lighter. Brothers and sisters, these surahs are not just words. They're shields given to us by Allah Himself. Tonight, we're diving into the story of the 4 Quls, the surahs that protect your soul, your body, your home, and your faith. Stay till the end, because what you'll hear may save your life. Don't forget to subscribe to Deen in Minute, because sometimes a reminder in minutes can protect you for a lifetime. Whispers, envy, and black magic, the secret of the 4 Quls. The night was heavy. Rain tapped against the windows of a small apartment where Hamza sat alone. His laptop glowed in the dark as he scrolled through endless feeds of negativity. News of wars, corruption, envy, betrayals, it all weighed on him. But tonight there was something different. The shadows in the corners of his room seemed thicker. The silence hummed. He rubbed his chest uneasily. Hamza was a practicing Muslim, but recently stress had cracked his heart open to fear. His colleagues mocked his faith. At work, someone spread lies about him. At home, his younger sister had fallen into depression, whispering that life was meaningless. On top of it all, he kept having terrifying dreams. Dreams of being chased by figures with no faces, of knots tied and hung above his bed, of whispers calling his name. That night, as the rain fell harder, he opened his Quran app, searching for peace. His eyes landed on 4 short surahs, the 4 Quls. Surah Al-Kafirun, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, Surah An-Nas. He had recited them before, of course, but something in his heart told him, these are different. These are shields. And so began his journey. He leaned back and whispered, Qul Surahs. His tongue trembled as he remembered what Ibn Kathir wrote. This surah was revealed when the Quraysh offered the Prophet a compromise to worship idols for a year, then Allah for a year. Hamza imagined the horror, truth diluted by falsehood. It was like mixing poison into pure water. And the Prophet's peace be upon him answer, revealed by Allah, thundered across time. For you is your religion, and for me is mine. Hamza shivered. He realized that in his own life, compromise was everywhere. His boss once told him, just bend your morals a little. Lie for this deal, and you'll rise fast. A friend once joked, pray later, enjoy life now. Each temptation was an echo of the Quraysh's offer. And every time he resisted, he felt alone. But now he understood. Al-Kafirun wasn't just about ancient idol worship. It was about refusing to sell your soul today. The shadows in his room seemed to hiss as he recited. Then he moved to Surah Al-Ikhlas. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. His voice softened, almost breaking. A tear slipped down his cheek. He thought of his sister, who had once whispered to him, who even cares about us? Maybe God doesn't exist. And Hamza had no words then, only silence. But this surah carried all the answers in 4 short verses. Allah is one, eternal, unlike anything we can imagine. Not born, not giving birth. No partner, no equal. Ibn Kathir explained that it equals 1/3 of the Quran because it encapsulates Tawhid completely. Hamza realized this was the core of everything. If his sister could feel this truth in her heart, her depression would break like glass. If he could carry it in his chest, every mockery at work would mean nothing. But then came the memory of his nightmares, the knots in his dreams, the whispers, the crawling fear that something unseen stalked him. He turned the page to Surah Al-Falaq. Qul Surahs min sharri ma khalaq. The words felt heavy, as if pushing against something in the air. Hamza recalled what Ibn Kathir wrote, that this surah was revealed when sorcerers tied knots to harm the Prophet. Peace be upon him, that the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself felt the weight of Sur until these verses untied every knot. Hamza imagined ropes unraveling, shadows cracking. He suddenly remembered a strange incident from last week. He had found a bundle of threads tied together, hidden under the stairwell of his building. At the time, he laughed nervously and threw it away. But now he wondered. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that envy, magic, and hidden evils were real, and that these verses cut through them like a blade of light. His voice shook as he continued. Wa min sharri sidin ida hasad. He thought of his colleague who smiled at him, but spread lies behind his back, consumed by jealousy. He thought of online trolls, envious strangers, even distant relatives who compared and cursed in whispers. He felt his chest loosen. These words were armor. Finally, he turned to the last surah. His heart raced. The whispers in his nightmares came back. That haunting sense of something speaking inside his own chest, trying to drag him into despair. He recited, Qul Surahs, Malakin Nas, Ilahin Nas, and suddenly it all connected. This surah was not about enemies outside. It was about the enemy within. The whispers of shame, the doubt, the anxiety, the voice that said, You're worthless. Give up. Stop praying. Nobody cares. Hamza's tears flowed. He realized that Shayṭān had been sitting on his shoulder, whispering despair into his sister, anger into his heart, and arrogance into his colleagues. Ibn Kathir explained that Shayṭān's whispers retreat when you remember Allah, but return when you forget. It was an endless battle. But this surah gave the weapon. Seek refuge in Allah, the Lord, the King, the God of mankind. No whisper can stand against that. As he finished, the rain outside stopped. The room felt lighter. The shadows no longer crawled. For the first time in weeks, Hamza felt peace. He lay down, reciting the 4 Quls over his body the way the Prophet, peace be upon him, used it before sleeping, blowing into his palms and wiping over himself. That night, he dreamed not of faceless figures, but of light breaking through the sky. The next morning, his sister knocked on his door. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She said, Hamza, I had a dream. Someone told me. Say the words of protection. Say the words that shield. I don't know what it means. Hamza smiled, handed her his phone with the 4 Quls open, and whispered, It means Allah hasn't left you. He gave us shields. Let's recite them together. And so they did. Their voices trembled at first, but as they recited, the fear melted. The apartment seemed to glow with warmth. That day, Hamza went to work different. When his colleagues mocked him, he recited Al-Kafirun in his heart. When he felt alone, he remembered Al-Ikhlas. When he feared envy, he turned to Al-Falaq. And when whispers struck, he shielded himself with An-Nas. He was no longer just a man in an apartment. He was a soldier with 4 shields, carrying a legacy of protection given to the Prophet, peace be upon him, carried by companions, passed down to every believer. And somewhere deep in the unseen world, Shayṭān hissed and retreated, defeated once more by the light of the Quran. Brothers and sisters, this is not Hamza's story alone. This is mine. This is yours. Every night, every morning, the world sends darkness our way. Through people, envy, magic, whispers, temptations. And Allah gave us 4 weapons, short but mighty. The 4 Quls. Do not go a day without them. Teach them to your children. Recite them when you feel fear, despair, or loneliness. Because these are not just words. These are shields. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs protection. And don't forget to subscribe to Deen in Minute, because sometimes one verse can change a life. May Allah protect us all with the 4 Quls. Ameen.